My brother over Christmas said he's got really, really tight hips, and if there's anything that he could do to loosen up his hips, and certainly hips are a big storage depot of our tension. And I think he would rather be caught dead than be caught in a yoga studio. So this is just an easy thing that you can do in front of the television just before you let your dogs out. I usually do this every night, or try to do it every night while I'm watching television. And it's not a yoga practice, although you can string this along with several other pieces. But it's just to get rid of a lot of the uglies that we put into our bodies throughout the day. So first thing you'll do is just kind of open up the the hips a little bit and just kind of do a little bit of joint mobility. And this just kind of wobble back and forth. I mean, some people can do it without putting their hands on the floor, and that's great, wonderful, but that's not me. And you'll even need a yoga mat because um, mine is really stinky right now. And I mean, really, why set out a yoga mat? You can just do this on the floor. It's really not that big of a deal. You don't even need yoga pants, although mine just are very, very comfortable. So once you finish that, you can drift your legs onto one side and allow your feet to be as you at what feels good, and you don't want to have a lot of tension in any of your knees at any point. And so to avoid that, you want to keep your feet flexed, and then you'll kind of reach over to the one bent knee. So as you can see, I have my right leg in an internal rotation and my left leg is in an external rotation. So this is what we do in a pigeon pose. Kona, stop it. And you just kind of roll a little bit forward. And so a true pigeon posture looks like this, but a lot of people can't do it. And so you can ease your foot out if that's not giving you enough. And I'm going to open up this door so my dogs can be let out. And so this might actually be enough for you. And again, if it's too much for you, then ease up a little bit. Maybe bring your heel closer to your knee, the opposite knee. And if you want to really make this relaxing, you'll stay for a few minutes, but I'm just going to stay for a minute or so. So this just gets a little bit of tension out of your outer left hip. And then you come and you weasel on the other side. Again, you want to make sure that your heels are flexed. And you just kind of fall forward. And you want to get a little bit of a back bend in your lower back. You just kind of roll forward. So I'm going to move my heel out a little bit so it's a little bit more parallel and bring my hands to my forearms to the floor. And then if you want to do this on the other side as well, you can also kind of open up a little bit and bring your arm overhead. This is less getting your right leg, but it's actually kind of opening up some of this nastiness on this side. So what I sometimes will do is I will do a lot of side bends, lateral side bends, because that helps maintain a little bit of mobility in the spine. I can't even say it. And then you can, so there's various versions of double pigeon, and I think I gave this one to my brother, and he's had this strain on his face. You can actually do double pigeon, actually cross leg, just kind of making sure that your shins are somewhat parallel. You can do a fall forward that way, and this actually might help a lot, but this might actually feel good. So you can soften here, and again, a little bit of a back bend in your lower spine. And staying here might feel really, really good for you. And then you come up and switch. And this is where my bad knee is not happy with me. So you just kind of adjust your posture a little bit and maybe bring your legs out a little bit further. Again, keeping your feet flexed because that's going to maintain the integrity of the knee joint. And then I'm going to do this on the floor. So this is when the dogs come and visit me a lot. So start with the left leg, and then you'll cross it over your right knee. So this actually might feel really, really good for you. And you can stay here if you'd like. Ultimately, double pigeon is like this, and that might not be appropriate for you. So this might actually feel really, really good. Again, you can sit here and watch television if you want. You can stay here for a long time. But if this is too much, if you find that you're just crunching too much and straining, you then want to lay down on your back. So this might actually feel really, really good for you. So I'm going to lay all the way down. And maybe press the skin of the thigh a little bit away. So this might feel good for you. And then you can spread your arms out and then rock your left foot onto the ground as best as possible. And you're probably going to feel a little bit of tension in the top of your left hip. And if at any point in time you find yourself clenching your teeth, then back up and stay in a softer version. And then come back up. So if that felt good for you, then stay there. Sometimes what I like to do is recline double pigeon. So I heel toe my right foot over to the left and then let my thighs relax. And that actually feels really, really nice for me. And this is usually where my dogs come over and lick my palms. And then heel toe the foot back up. And then switch. So your heel, right heel on top of left knee, and just kind of hang out there for a little bit. If that's too much for you, then you can draw the left foot further away from your butt. If this isn't enough for you, I like to cradle my shin like this. So this is basically like a pigeon, except I'm flipped over. But that actually usually feels really good for me. And then you draw your right heel onto the floor, and hopefully you can move your Shih Tzu out of the way. Sometimes I actually hold my heel with my left hand. So you'll probably feel a little bit different in one hip than the other, because one's probably out of balance. It could be because one leg is shorter than the other, or you had trauma in form of an injury on one leg or one side of the body than another. And so it's trying to compensate. And then come back up. If you want to do the double pigeon version, you can do that.
is the matter of just kind of allowing the muscles and the fascia to get a little bit of a stretch. You never want to go too much in any sort of stretch because that actually will encourage a little bit more trauma. You want to avoid that. So you can go into a shavasana if that feels good, or you can do some recline twists either side, but I've got to let my dogs out. So anyway, so as you notice, if you do a lot of hip stretches, it's going to relax you. So I always like to do these a little bit more at night. Sometimes I will start my day doing these hip openers, but you decide which feels good for you. Take care. Time to let the dogs out.